Hello out there. It's Friday, and I just wanted to record a mini lecture going over the advocacy assignment that's been posted to give you a little bit more information about what is expected. Part one, the advocacy assignment's in two parts. It's much scaled down from the original one. But part one is for you to design the advocacy itself. And by that, I do mean design as opposed to actually create. Just a second, I need some water. Whatever you design should come out of the case study. So when you looked at the case study and you found that there were some things missing, that should be what you try to seek to fill or the need to meet. And what you're going to do is kind of sketch out what you want to do, just depending on what you choose. You can get closer to the actual advocacy than not. But let's say you wanted to do a very short film to put on YouTube. You obviously can't script and cast and film and do all of that stuff. So instead, I want you to do kind of like a storyboard. What's going to happen in the first scene and what would happen in the second scene and who's going to be cast and whatever. So just kind of roughly sketch it out. If you do that in pencil, you can just shoot me a photograph of it with some description. So the idea here, let's say you decide to design billboards. Again, you can't go out and actually design and put up a billboard, but you can sketch out what a billboard would look like and tell me what the words on it would be and etc. So again, it should grow out of the case study. You need to determine the following things. You need to determine the medium. So what sort of thing is it? Is it a billboard? Is it a YouTube video? Is it a meme? Is it a blog post? I mean, there's a variety of different things that you can use. And then genre, actually, I'm kind of confused on that. So medium is where it's going to be. Are you going to circulate this on Facebook? Are you going to circulate this alongside the highway? You know, whatever. Genre is exactly what the nature is of the kind of advocacy that you're going to do. So is it going to be a meme? Is it going to be a blog post? In some cases, medium and genre might be the same thing. So if you talk about a billboard, I mean, a billboard is going to tell you both what sort of channel it's going to be on. It's going to be on some big board on the side of the road. And then the genre of it is also going to be billboard. But you can imagine that you choose Facebook, for instance, for your medium. That's where you want this to circulate. Well, there's lots of stuff that goes around on Facebook. You could do a short blog post actually as a status update, for instance. If you choose Instagram, you could have a series of photographs. So these things are going to be different depending on what you do. So medium and genre really go hand in hand. In addition, you need to talk about audience. If you keep in mind that one of the things that I think some of you saw with the case studies is that certain kinds of advocacy reach out for certain kinds of audiences. And a lot of times I tell people, if you see an ad or some sort of advocacy or public statement that you don't get, you feel like you're missing something, I always say that either the advocacy is just really bad or you're just not the audience for it. So imagine the vast differences in the way you would approach talking to children or approaching talking to GSU students. So if you're talking to GSU students, you can make reference to things GSU students know. Like what our school schedule's been like this past little bit, what is going on campus. You can make reference to Jaguars, you know, whatever, that a group outside of GSU students wouldn't know. And then finally, you need to have a very clear message. What are you hoping to achieve through this advocacy? Advocacy can't solve all problems, so you might need to just focus in on one very specific sort of problem. So you need to talk about what is the message itself and what kinds of words will you use. Okay, part two. This is where you do, this is more of a reflection. I want you to reflect on the choices that you've made, and give the rhetorical background. Why did you choose these approaches? I want you to reflect using rhetorical language. So ethos, pathos, and logos. I established credibility by I established need to discuss by creating certain kinds of emotion. I decided to talk about the pathos. I decided to use pathos by being humorous or by telling a story that would pull on someone's heartstrings. Logos, I provided hard information and made arguments to people about what they should or shouldn't do. You'll notice that exigency and pathos are very closely related, as are pathos and audience. But I need to have you reflect on why you chose the audience you chose. I want to stress that you cannot choose a general audience. It has got to be a specific audience, keeping in mind that only specific audiences are going to find you credible or your meme credible. So you need to choose a group of people who you have some access towards being persuasive towards. So a specific audience. Now I used the example in the assignment sheet of the hand washing meme that's gone around. So the first one that came out, I think it may have been from the CDC, shows people how to wash their hands. So you're supposed to spend 20 seconds washing your hands, and then you're supposed to be doing it in certain ways. So people forget the tops of their hands, people forget their fingertips, and so on. Well, that's a message that is going to be a hard sell for a lot of people. It's boring. It makes you feel like you're back in kindergarten. And yet it's a critical part of not spreading the virus. And so it's really important. So this exact example of advocacy I found on both Twitter and Facebook. The genre that it's using is a meme. And by meme in this particular case, I mean a sort of set visual where the language itself can be changed. And the thing that makes this sort of funny is that it changes the lyrics to the song and it invites you to put your own lyrics to the song that you sing while you're washing your hands. Sorry, more water. So the audience can be adapted. So if you're singing the ABC song, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, which is roughly how long it takes to wash your hands properly, that would be great for kids. Kids like to sing songs like that, and there's all sorts of other songs you could use. But it's a lot funnier and a lot more engaging to choose a song that the audience would be familiar with. So for adults, different songs. For young people, different songs. Now, the rhetorical appeals here are primarily humor. So you're taking this serious hand washing message, serious/boring hand washing message, and you're making it funny by adding lyrics that someone might not expect. The ethos, that is the credibility, this is the official hand washing diagram. I mean, this is something that you've seen everywhere. So it has a certain credibility to it. The logos, and I left the S off of that, is that you actually see the information about the best way to wash hands. So it's actually full of factual information that demonstrates hand washing, and that hand washing is something that can save your life, quite frankly, in this era. Okay, that's what I have for you on this mini lecture. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I would be glad to talk with you one-on-one or in small groups, whatever you would like. Stay well. Take care.